Hello, my name is Stephen Alff and welcome back to AlffBooks, and today I'm here to do the Booktube Newbie Tag 2.0. This tag was created by Catalyst Reads and I was tagged by Jay from Captured in Words, so I'll be leaving both of their videos down in the description. And yeah, it's time to move on to the questions. The first question is, what genres would you like to see talked about more on Booktube? I'd like to see more historical fiction. Historical fiction is something I've really gotten into. I've started writing historical fiction and I'm always looking for more historical fiction, so more people talking about it means I discover more historical fiction, so that would be really cool. So there's that. I'd also like to see people talk about classics more. I find, and that was my case for years, that classics are very often thought of as reading material for school or for college, and because of that, in some sense they're avoided as too difficult or too potentially boring. And though I don't like all classics that I've read, which is always the case about any type of book that you read, I find that you need to give any book a good chance. If you think that you may be interested and you're just saying, because it's a classic, you should pick it up. So, yeah, classics. If you talk about classics, let me know as well. The second question is, what ways do you feel are the best to make friends on Booktube? And I find that if you comment on other people's videos, you are going to get their attention, especially if they've got really small channels. They're most likely to really want to engage with you. So I find the Booktube Newbie Tag is a great way of meeting other people who love this community, who've decided to finally make videos, and who aren't overloaded with comments, in a sense, that they will see your comment and they will be more than happy to respond. And the thing is, making friends on Booktube is just making friends with anyone who loves reading books, and that starts with the people who've just started out, and it also makes them feel really welcomed. So I find that's a really good way of engaging with people and making friends. Another great way is off the platform. On Twitter, for example, you can tweet at other booktubers and just start conversations there about different topics, and I find that's a great way of getting to know each other better and also just creating real good friendships. And another way which I find is really interesting is to create meetups. So if there are no meetups being organised at the moment in your area, you can look into organising your own meetups, and that can always be really fun because, well, you get to meet people in person, talk about books, maybe go to bookstores together, and that's really cool, yes. I find that when you start looking, you're always surprised by how many people close enough to you actually are interested in and talk about books online. They don't necessarily have to be booktubers, but they can be book bloggers, they can be bookstagrammers, they can just be people who like tweeting about books, and I find that always fascinating to just talk with people who love books. The third question is, what do you enjoy most about making Booktube videos? And I find that I love just coming up with ideas. I love trying to see if they're possible, and I absolutely love working with other people to try and make those ideas possible. It's just so much more fun when you can actually work with other people. So I find, even if it's just bouncing ideas off of someone, just throwing them at them, I find that is a really good way of just working through possibilities for videos, and that process is really fun. I do that with Booktube friends, I do that with family. I just find it really fun to see how other people like ideas or what their input can be in a video. Question 4 is, what do you least look forward to when making a Booktube video? There are two things. Firstly, making sure the lighting is right. Not that I look too bleached or that it's too dark. I've had that problem before and it's just so irritating. And another one is background noise. I always try to reduce background noise as much as possible, and it's gotten to the point that if I hear someone walking past the door, even if I can barely hear them myself, I'm like, oh no, will it corrupt the audio? Even though the chances are that it won't, but I try to film when there's as little noise as possible, and noise is something that I can't edit it out because I don't know how to do audio sound editing, so it's always better to not have it in the first place. But yeah, that is something that I don't look forward to. The fifth question is, what videos other than tags, TBRs, wrap-ups and reviews and recommendations would you like to see more of? And definitely, hands down, discussion videos and sketches. I love those. Firstly, I mean, I want to do as many sketches as possible over the next few months and years, because I plan on being here for the long run. And discussion videos, because they really open your mind, I find. Someone will bring up a point at some point in their discussion video that you're never going to have considered before, and that is something I find fascinating. Just being able to compare how you approach an idea or a concept or something you may not even have thought of in detail, and see that there's more to it than you expected. The same thing applies to when preparing a discussion video. I find that I will invariably look into the pros and cons of it and try and see both sides of a discussion, though I may not always understand or agree with all the points. I'll try and find points that I can agree with, or at least that I can understand that others can agree with. I find it's always more interesting to try and give two aspects of a discussion, so both your point of view and the opposite point of view. And whether you are the person explaining those other points or whether you bring someone in to do that with you, I think it's really important to keep a discussion balanced and try and, you know, try and find out and explain what both sides are. I mean, I tried to do one of those on BookTube and why I love BookTube, and it turned into just a video of these are the reasons why I love BookTube, and yeah, I love BookTube. But then I did one further back about book hauls, and that one was more balanced. I mentioned pros for book hauls and also reasons I didn't really like them that much, and in the end it turns out that, well, there's more cons for me personally, so I don't make them. So yeah, it's always good to weigh pros and cons. The sixth question is, what themes would you like to see less of or more of in books? And for me, less of definitely love triangles. Now, if a love triangle is well done, well explained, that there's a sense to it, no problem. But more often than not, the love triangle doesn't make sense. It's just a love triangle between three of the main characters, and there's no real sense to it. It's just there because it can be there. That's not something I like seeing. It's just a waste of ink. So yeah, that's one I wouldn't like to see as much of, if possible. And one I'd like to see more isn't really a theme, but more the unexpected. I like seeing something that I didn't expect. When I'm reading a book, if I put the book down, I'll be thinking about the book until the next time I can pick it up. And that is coming up with possible scenarios, possible ways the story could go. And I like when a book brings me down a route I didn't expect. And that is what I like seeing in books. So if I can see more of that, less books that are, oh yeah, I kind of knew that was going to happen, I'd be really happy. I'm not saying that they don't already exist. I just want to see so many more of those. That would be really cool. The seventh question is, what are some of your BookTube goals? Well, I want to make more friends on BookTube. That's a clear one. I love that. I want to do more collabs, and I want to make things that are new. I want to create something that doesn't exist yet on BookTube, and whether that is by working together with other people and creating something sketch-wise or other that is just really different, or on my own just coming up with an idea, a way of filming a video differently. Just, I want to bring something different, and yeah, we'll see how that works. I'm constantly looking into ways of bringing maybe something that I see in another type of video or in another medium into my videos, and maybe at some point I'll find something that I'm like, yes, that is what I want to do. Whether it's by adapting it from somewhere else or coming up with something completely new. I think that could be fun. The eighth question is, what advice do you have for booktubers who've just started out? Well, read what you like and make the videos you want to make. There's nothing really more to say. If you don't like one of the common video types that are out there, book hauls, TBRs, wrap-ups, tags, if there's something you don't want to do, just don't do it. It's up to you to do whatever you want with your channel. As I was saying earlier, I don't do book hauls. It doesn't stop me from making videos. I enjoy making videos. I still make videos about books the whole time. And I think it's important that people don't feel pressured into, because everyone else is doing it, that they have to do it. And the same thing applies for books. If everyone's talking about a book, you don't necessarily have to go out there and buy it just because everyone else is talking about it. You don't necessarily have to read it because everyone else is talking about it. Just read what you want. And if a book does sound interesting and everyone is talking about it, by all means go ahead. But don't just read something or do something because everyone else is doing it. Question 9 is, what qualities or traits do you look for in other booktubers when deciding what to watch? And, well, I just look for people who are passionate about books. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much everyone on Booktube. But basically, I just love watching videos about books. No matter who, no matter what genre the books are in, I like seeing people passionate about things. And that is all I look for. Question 10 is, what is a fun fact or a hobby that you have that other people on Booktube wouldn't know that you have? Well, I can juggle. Juggling's fun. And now I just hope that I don't hit the microphone. I haven't really practiced, so yeah. This is where I hope this isn't a bad idea. I think I might actually move the microphone away just for this, because this might be a bad idea otherwise. I don't want to break my microphone. There, further away. Now, I hope I don't hit the computer. There, so. I haven't done this in a while. Question 11. Who do you tag? What I want to do from now on when I'm doing tag videos is I want to tag both people I've been following and I really want to tag, and also people I really want to tag but who've just started out. Partly because I want to make them feel more welcome in the community in general. I want them also to be maybe more noticed, and yeah, by doing so, I'll be leaving links to all the people I tag in the description down below, so feel free to go and check them out. Without further ado, who do I tag? I'm tagging You Found Marina, Clara Reads Books, Spinster's Library, Jessica Breathe and Read, Bookish Land, The Dyslexic Reader, Teller of Tales, Irish Reader, This Story Ain't Over, and Emma Lou. I look forward to seeing all of your videos. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will leave you with my most recent video on this side, and a video I think you're really going to like. That's all from me. Bye.